Hey guys, how's it going? Connor here today at etrailer.Com. We're going to be taking a look at the Konig self-tensioning tire chains here for our 2020 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited with tire size 245/75/17. Our Konig self-tensioning tire chains here are going to be an excellent option for our Jeep. The first thing I'd like to point out is there's going to be a super simple installation. We're only going to have a few connection points. There's going to be one at the rear. We're going to have one here at the front of the tire at the top, and then we're going to have another one at the bottom via this ratcheting mechanism. Our Konig tire chains here are constructed of these G-shaped links. And what these D-shaped links are going to do is they're going to help us get more traction in the snow and ice. They're also a low profile. And what this is going to do is this is going to ensure we have a smooth ride quality in comparison to some of the rougher ride qualities with like the ladder style chains you might be familiar with. Our Konig tire chains here have a diamond-shaped pattern. And what this diamond-shaped pattern means is we're going to have constant contact patch with the road in comparison to ladder style chains where there are going to be some gaps in coverage. So as we can see here on the outer section of our tire chains, we have these coated sections of the chains here. Now this is going to do one of two things. Number one, it's going to help us when we're untangling our tire chains because we're going to be able to differentiate the different sections of the chain. And number two, they're going to help while we're outside in the cold installing these because these are going to be much easier to grab onto than these cross chains here. So what really makes these Konig tire chains a premium option is our self-tensioning mechanism here. Now normally, once we made all our connections with standard tire chains, we'd have to drive forward in the vehicle and make the necessary adjustments until we get a nice tight grip on the tire. However, that process isn't going to be needed with our Konig tire chains here because the self-ratcheting tensioning mechanism here is going to ensure we get a snug and secure fit without any further adjustments. Furthermore, with our premium tire chain option, we're going to have these nylon bumpers here, which we're going to install on the outside section of our chain here. And they're essentially going to make sure we don't have any damage to our factory wheels, providing a barrier between the chain and wheel. So since our Konig self-tensioning tire chains here are going to be a premium option, we're going to get some additional premium items, such as our laminated instructions here. We're not going to have to worry about these getting tore up when we're outside in the wet snow. We also have some extra links here if any of our existing links were to get damaged, and we have this nice and secure carrying case that we can use to keep the tire chains inside in the vehicle when we're not using them. So now that we've gone over some of the benefits and features, let's jump right in and show you how easy these are to install yourself. So to start our installation today, we want to take our tire chains out of the bag here. We want to lay them out in front of us, get rid of all the tinks and tangles, make sure everything's sitting correctly. Now we do need to pay attention to how our chains are laid on the ground. Because we have these hooks on the outer cable here, the open end of the hook actually needs to be facing down towards the ground, just like so. So now that we know we have our tire chains laid out correctly, we can begin draping them around the back side of the tire. Keep in mind we have sort of a middle point where the two chains break here. That's going to be lined up with the center of the tire. So now once we have our chains draped around the tire, we can go ahead and make our first connection here, which is going to be with the cabled ends on either side. We're going to attach this up at the top of the tire at the back, just like so. So now once we have our first connection made, we can go ahead and begin to drape the rest of our chains here over our tire. Once we have our tire chains draped over the tire, we want this little section here to be about in the center of the tread. Then we can go ahead and make our second connection point here, which is going to be our red hook here, and then our links here. So we're just going to start out with using the red link, just like that. So now we then want to take the silver section of our chain here. We're going to be routing this through our little ratcheting mechanism. In order to do this, we're going to press back on this little tab, and then we're going to feed our cable through there like so. And then we're going to pull to tension the tire chains. Once that's done, we can come here to the adjacent end. We can take our little ratcheting mechanism here and connect those like so. Now normally, once all this is done, we would want to go ahead and drive forward to let our tire chains sort of adjust themselves. However, these are actually the self-tensioning tire chains, so we're not going to need to make any further adjustments. So now that we have everything installed, that's going to do it today for the Konig self-tensioning tire chains here for our 2020 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited.